Yo, shout out to Sir Bravian for such a magnificent song. So, kick it off, bruv. The whole slate is coming. Let's get it.
Well, I was too hit like a thunder roll. Shook the PlayStation faithful right down to their soul. They thought exclusives were a fortress wall, but now those walls, they start to fall. Final Fantasy Remake, Death Stranding 2, showing up on Xbox, what you gonna do? Fanboys crying, petitions in hand, but real gamers just understand. Whole slate's coming, hear the thunder roll. Whole slate's coming, crashing through your soul. Whole slate's coming, no escaping fate. Whole slate's coming through the Game Pass gate. Fanboys crying, shouting in vain. You lost your grip and losing your game. Could've spoke with your wallet, but you stood still. Now Xbox to experience the whole damn thrill. Whole slate's coming, Joel and Ellie too. Whole slate's coming, Intergalactic coming through. Whole slate's coming, watch Killzone ignite. Whole slate's coming, I feel like resistance tonight.
Where is factions? Where is factions? Where is factions?
She gone.
She's gone, man.
Last of Us taking a brand new ride. Shadow of the Colossus standing by Xbox's side. Uncharted treasures ready to show. Sackboy packing up and he's ready to go. Bloodborne shadows creeping slow. Ratchet and Clank putting on a show. Could've stopped this if you bought the game, but you just whined and now it's all the same. Whole slate's coming, hear the thunder roll. Whole slate's coming, crashing through your soul. Whole slate's coming, no escaping fate. Whole slate's coming through the Game Pass gate. Whole slate's coming.
The whole slate is coming. How are you guys doing? How are you guys feeling, man? Let me just say shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to all of you guys. You know, I'm still feeling sort of ill. I had the flu, guys. And believe you me, this flu is not. Guys, this flu is not. It's not like regular flu. This flu is throwing you down, man. But let me just say, nonetheless, we are still here. We are still working. And just like what Professor Strong say, happy new tears to all the ponies. It's a new year, but it's some new tears. Yeah, it has to be a super flu or something, man. But shout out to everyone in the chat this evening. I will shout you out as I see you come in. I'm seeing Biarios. Biarios, what up, man? Shout out to Biarios. what the Arius is saying, switch to concerning what, man? We have Byron Moores. Byron, shout out to you, man. We have Armon, is it Kada? Kida? Shout out to you, Armon. He's saying, should I buy my brother's PlayStation 5 now to to be ready to jailbreak? You can do whatever you want, man. Shout out to Big Time Objective, very objective guy there, man. Take a look at his YouTube channel, man. He has some good stuff across there. We have also Professor Strong. I mean, Professor Strong is honestly the only professor we need. And Unico, Cocho, what up, man? What up, El Unico? Shout out to you, man. Yeah, Professor Strong, it's a super flu. So welcome to everyone in the chat. I hope you guys are having, or you guys had a productive day today or a restful day, seeing that today was Sunday. I know that most of you guys will be going back out to work tomorrow. But nonetheless, let's recap what went on or what were some of the stories for this week. Now, this week was an eventful week. There were a lot of discussion concerning Xbox this week. As always, I mean, the year started off with a lot of persons talking about Xbox as usual. However, we are seeing that despite the doom and gloom of Xbox, again, Xbox is still trekking along, and we could see that a lot of persons are talking about what Xbox has planned for 2026. It is a big year for Xbox because it's the 25th anniversary of the platform, and we can expect a lot from Xbox according to in their own words, right? Now, let's look at the first article for tonight. And let's look at this article here from Pure Xbox. Now, this article is talking about the Xbox Developers Direct. And let me just say that Xbox really did have, they really did start a very good thing by, coming out with their showcase the beginning of every year, right? And I believe that this year is no different. They would have, a showcase in January. But what could we look forward to in this showcase? We know that every showcase, Microsoft basically had a surprise drop. In addition to that, Microsoft would have had surprises every year for their showcases. Microsoft really did hit a stride with their showcase. So we know that this showcase this year would also be fire. Now, hear what they are saying. They're saying we are pretty hyped for the return of the Xbox Developer Direct Showcase at some point later in January. A date hasn't been announced yet, as it's one of our favorite events of the year, and this is particularly a special year, as we said before, right? Now, as part of the Xbox 25th anniversary celebrations, we are getting Halo Campaign Evolved, Fable, Forza Horizon 6, and Gears of War ED. So already, guys, this would be an amazing showcase already, just for those 4 games, right? Along with seemingly a lot more releases we aren't privy to as yet. For what it's worth, Fable and Forza Horizon developers Playground Games has already confirmed for the Dev Direct. So we know for sure we are going to see whether it be a new trailer or a new, in-depth view of Forza. But I believe that in-depth view will be for Fable. Fable will have that in-depth view. Let me say shout out to Island Guild Gaming. What up, McGill? Then we have Victor Brandon. Victor Brandon, shout out to you, right? Why should the media care about the Xbox show? I thought the ponies had the No, they're still gonna care, man, and they're still gonna watch. These guys are still going to watch despite what it is they say Sony is getting. So I mean, we already know that those two are coming, Fable and Forza, right? So it goes on to say Microsoft will give us most of the lineup of Xbox developers, Developer Direct 2026 very soon, probably next week. But it's worth nothing that there's been a surprise every year so far, which is good on Xbox, right? The first Developers Direct in 2023 gave us a shadow drop of Hi-Fi Rush. That was fire. Developers Direct 2024 gave us Square Enix making a surprise appearance with Visions of Mana. And Developers Direct 2025 unveiled Ninja Gaiden 4 and Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. That was a shadow drop. We all know that. We saw that. That was very exciting. Now, here's the lineup of games for each edition so far, along with the surprises. So we've seen all these surprises came out so far. The Direct in 2023, we got a surprise of Elder Scrolls Online and Redfall. Direct in 2024, we got Avowed, Hellblade 2. So it's obvious that this direct will have a surprise in it. That is a given, right? So what you guys think Microsoft will surprise us with this time? I mean, there are a lot of, I think they would give us, maybe, I don't know, if they will give us more information on State of Decay. I mean, there's so many games that they have announced already that they need to update their fans with. But it's very interesting. It's very interesting what you guys think they would surprise us with, man. What you guys are thinking. Are you guys seeing something completely left field? Are you guys thinking new hardware? How would Microsoft surprise us this year in their showcase? Put it in the comment sections. Let me see if anybody new came. All right. So that is what we could expect in the near future, guys. In the near future. Now, let me just say that the next news is a pretty sad one, right? It's a pretty sad one because it just goes to show, guys, that we have to be very careful as to the type of game we invest in, right? Because we would have heard recently that we cannot forget that this game here is going to shut down. Let me have it playing in the background as I read the news. So let me ask you guys something. This game that is showing on the screen, this is Anthem, right? What was wrong with this game? I know there were a lot of persons didn't like it. It was it a free-to-play game? What was, because this game to me, it looks cool, right? EA Anthem, right? So let me just read what I have here. Anthem's end is nearly here. Only days remain before EA will switch off the servers to BioWare's ill-fated multiplayer game. Wow. So persons who would have invested money into this game, persons who would have invested time into this game, it all will go kablooey in the next 10 days. Again, we need to know the type of games we are investing our time and money in. Hear what it says. It says that time flies. There are only 10 days left to play BioWare's ill-fated multiplayer game Anthem before the servers are switched off, presumably forever. We have had this end date in the diary since EA announced it last summer. After careful consideration, we will be sunsetting Anthem on January 12th, 2026. The company said that day seems far away then. Now it does not. Right? The article goes on to say that it's not yet clear whether there'll be a switching off event of any kind. I'm trying to find out because Anthem is an online multiplayer game. Once EA switches the servers off, you won't be able to play it, regardless if you own it or not. And that's the problem, guys. That's the problem with this buying games online and only or online. This is a problem and an issue. If these servers shut down, are you telling me that your entire game shut down? Something is wrong there, man. It goes on to say that this is an aspect of modern live service gaming many people are frustrated by. This disappearance of games they bought but can no longer play. It's led to movements like Stop Destroying Games and Stop Killing Games, which are petitioning governments in the hope of putting protections in place to stop this from happening. Now, when you look at this gameplay here, guys, to me, this game looks like an okay game. No, it doesn't look mind-blowing, but it looks like an okay game. I don't know why, EA fans did not support this game as how they would have done other games, right? It's very sad to see that this game, I could say, maybe had potential. Maybe if it is, they would have done the research. But, I mean, look at this. Look at the gameplay, guys. I don't think this looks like a bad game, right? I don't think this looks like a bad game. So, the article continues to say, but if the game is not attracting a large enough audience to justify the expenditure of ongoing service costs, which I don't think Anthem was, then what's a company to do? Run it at a loss? So, I mean, they are weighing the both sides of the coin. Fans are saying if I pay for a game, I should always be able to play that game. But then the company would be saying that, here, what if no one is coming to play it, then we can't run it at a loss, right? But, I mean, there need to be a middle ground, whether it be, there have to be an online mode or something. Persons cannot be paying for games and it just disappears. That's crazy, right? Regardless, Anthem ends seems symbolic in the story of BioWare, a company famed for single-player role-playing experiences that was encouraged and perhaps persuaded to make a huge bet on multiplayer game that didn't work out, right? I mean, this is the same trap that some of Sony developers fell into, and that is how we got Concord. That is how we got Concord, one of the worst games that would have launched. Anyway, I mean, Concord is dead and everyone is saying,
ain't nobody got time for that.
Everyone is saying that about Concord, right? So, let me hear what you thought about Anthem. Do you think that Anthem deserves to be shut down? Do you think that here what? At least gamers should get a refund if they are going to completely close the game down in its entirety. Let me know what you think about Anthem being closed down for good. Anthem, the devs there at Anthem is saying this.
It's like, I can't eat! I'm broke!
This is what the devs are saying. They're not making money from the game, so they have to close it down. But that's Anthem, guys. That is Anthem. Now, we all know what Square Enix is doing or their plans when it comes to their strategy going forward. They would have spoken to us about this many times over, right? But for some reason, the guys there in Square Enix constantly are reminding us that they are going Multiplat. I don't know why. Why are the guys there at Square Enix constantly reminding us that they are going multiplat? Did their deal with Sony leave such a bitter taste in their mouth that every chance they get, they have to say that they are going multiplat? Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Support your boy. Choose something in the chat. So here what it says, right? This article says Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 development team will put all efforts to bring it to more players, right? So this recently happened. This was just a couple of days ago. I believe this was in December, right? December 30th, right? It was like 3 days ago. The development team behind Part 3 of Square Enix Final Fantasy VII Remake Trilogy will put all efforts in order to bring the game to more players, right? Famitsu says that has returned with its annual end-of-year feature, where it interviews well-known people from the game industry for the end-of-year comments on the game that has grabbed their attention, the project they are currently involved with, and their aspirations for the coming year. Among the prominent voices this year, Final Fantasy VII Remake Trilogy development, is this Yoshipi or Yoshihiro Kaitas and Naoki Hamaguchi, both from whom shared a clear and unified version for Part 3. As the Final Fantasy VII Remake program approaches its conclusion, Kitas talked about having a goal ensuring that as many people as possible can experience the trilogy. So, guys, it's obvious. The deal with Sony went so sour that these guys have to remind gamers that guess what? These games are going everywhere. You don't have to buy a PlayStation to experience these games anymore. You will soon be getting it on the Xbox and on the Nintendo Switch too. As you see here, they said which scheduled to launch on January 22nd, 2026 on Nintendo Switch 2 and on Xbox Series X and S, right? With the release, Square Enix is positioning Final Fantasy VII Remake as a fully multi-platform experience, removing barriers that previously limited where and how players could engage with the story. So this is it, guys. We are seeing more devs are deciding to go multi-plat with their games because it makes sense. If it is, you see the trend of how gamers are buying games, it only makes sense that, these gamers or people or these devs, put their games everywhere. And the guys there at Square Enix, the guys there at Final Fantasy is reminding everyone that guess what? These games are going everywhere. Sony did not do it. Sony didn't cut it. That is clear, right? Let me just say shout out to Avgata, shout out to you, shout out to El Unico, Biario, shout out to all you guys, Victor, all you guys, man. So, guys, let's talk about another big topic this week. And I mean, a lot of Sony fans, a lot of ponies, they don't want to talk about this, right? Dreamcast Guy didn't even make a video on it. And that is about what happened to Sony. You guys know what happened to Sony this week, man. You guys knew what happened to Sony. Somebody came in and took Sony's lunch money. Yes? Forget about factions.
Where is factions?
About factions. You guys now have to worry about PlayStation 5 being jailbroken into. This is a jailbreak problem. What would Sony do? As I mean, Sony would have sold all this amount of consoles. These ponies boasted 90 million consoles sold, right? So how many were shipped? These guys have been boasting for a while about these consoles. Well, tell me, why is Sony locking the door with a matchstick? Why a matchstick is the security for the PlayStation 5? I don't understand it. But let's listen. Let's listen to some of these ponies. Let's see what they had to say about this major security problem. Right? Let's first listen to Marlon Gaming here. Because Marlon had a lot to say about it. Let's listen to what he said here.
Man, like this is pretty bad. This is like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this right now. So Tom's Hardware is talking about this, right? PlayStation 5 ROM keys leaked. Jailbreaking could be easier with boot ROM codes. Man, this is not
90 million consoles sold, but they can't even protect what they have. They can't even protect. I mean, if you have a PlayStation 5 and you have any kind of credit card, any kind of personal information, you should be afraid. You should have made an alternative account that don't have your real name and put it into this PlayStation 5, because we cannot trust the security systems. How did these guys be able to get the kernel from this console? I don't understand.
This is not good. This is not free. This literally just compromised the entire freaking console right now, because they have access to the bootloader. They can do whatever. They can make their own PS5 at this doggone point. They can boot whatever they want, whatever software they want, whatever ROMs they want, whatever. Like this is like the.
Let me just say, shout out to Random Commenter. Random Commenter says, tell him, Jay, this is a it is a sickness. This is a sickness. You telling me that after Sony is making these guys pay for everything, they can't afford a good security system?
Thank you. You're making us pay for water, you son of a...
Everything.
You're making us pay for grapes? Apples?
Everything.
Things that God gave us for free? You will burn in hell when I'm through with you.
No.
You will not be allowed in my Father's house at all.
At all. Listen to me. This is crazy. Sony can charge for everything, but they cannot give the security that is needed to protect the PlayStation 5. And this is coming off of the heels of just last week or last 2 weeks, someone would have found an exploit where they can hack the PlayStation. This is what it came out from. So I mean, Sony, I don't know what to say again.
It open sesame for the freaking PS5 at this point. I don't know what Sony is gonna do, but there's not really, and it's crazy to say it's not like they can put out a firmware update or anything like that.
It's completely open.
Apparently, this is like from the hardware, from a hardware perspective, on the APU, from the APU perspective. Like this is not good. So basically, it says right here, you still won't get a jailbroken PS5 with this leak, but it will make it easier for hackers to compromise the console's bootloader.
No, and this should be frightening to anyone. If hackers could get into the PlayStation 5 so easily, how are you guys are just sitting there with your information just out there? You guys better make some changes immediately if you have a PlayStation 5. let me just say shout out. Let me just say shout out. Is it to Justa? Shout out to you. He said, appreciate the show. You always cracking me up. Shout out to you, man. Much love to you. Much love to your peeps, man. So yeah. Sony has left the door open. They are using a matchstick to close the door. And you know what's the sad thing? They are charging you guys a premium. Are there any ponies in here? They are charging you guys a premium for a security system tied with string. Crazy.
So let's kind of dig a little bit much more deeper into the damages here. So it says right here that the PlayStation 5's ROM keys have allegedly been leaked, meaning anyone who can get their hands on the hex strings now has the hardware code that will allow jailbreakers to try to decrypting and analyzing the console's bootloader. According to the cybersec guru, this is an unpatchable, are you hearing me? This is an unpatchable problem.
Unpatchable? Unpatchable, you said? This is honestly a sickness. All that money, all that console for what? Unpatchable. These guys got hacked in the Matrix. Right now, Neo and all of them is inside the PlayStation 5, getting all the info, getting all the intel, and you guys are paying for it. You guys are paying for it. Say what you want about Xbox, but I'm not seeing Xbox with these problems. Say what you want. These guys have been hacked, they have been backed, and they have been stacked. I mean, and you who are paying for the security system, police?
You.
Who are paying for it? This is what you're paying for, ponies?
Problem for Sony. Oh, Lord. Because these keys cannot be changed and are burned directly into the APU.
I mean,
my God,
come on.
The only way that the company can
Sony needs to do
invalidate the leak codes is to replace the chips. Oh my goodness, bro. On yet to be manufactured units.
Yeah. So that means all the existing PlayStation 5s that are out there, all of those PlayStation 5s are compromised. All of them could be hacked. Yeah? All of them could be hacked. Yeah, Professor Shaw. Marlon, right now, he's so look at the emotions, guys. Look at the emotions.
Right there. Bro, Sony got over 90. I'm gonna let y'all understand that I think y'all are still waking up after New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Wake us up.
Let me spell this out.
Hear what? I have something to wake up these ponies. Ponies! Marlon said to wake you guys up. Let me show you how I just wake up these ponies. Listen to how I just wake up these ponies. These ponies need to get wake up sometimes.
Oh, no!
Get up! Get up, you ponies!
He ain't getting up!
Get up! That's how I wake up these ponies.
There's over 90 million units worldwide. Okay? They're saying in order for Sony to fix this problem, Sony would have to manufacture
Sony is not fixing
replacement chips.
Sony is too cheap. Sony won't be fixing anything. All those PlayStation 5s that are hackable, the 90 million, Sony is leaving that just like that. You understand what I'm saying? And a matter of fact, there are YouTube channels dedicated to hacking the PlayStation 5. When you go on YouTube, this new update, I believe it was the 2.0 update, there are YouTube channels dedicated to hacking the PlayStation 5. So, I mean, that can mean a lot of things. Persons will have more access to free games from PlayStation 5. The consoles will be able to basically play anything. because they basically have the kernel. You see that kernel? I'm talking about the real popcorn. Once they have that kernel of the console, that's it. They will be popping that kernel with all sorts of butter, with all sorts of sweeteners. This is what the hackers have.
New chips with the same specifications, but new chips to alleviate this. So what happens? What's going to happen with the 90 plus million units out there? Lord have mercy.
Look
This
at
is
Marlon.
child's play at this
Look
point.
at Marlon. Marlon said child's play.
Meaning consoles that listen to this.
Hey, who's that there? Slayer, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, Slayer.
Told y'all, meaning consoles that are already in the wild could possibly take advantage of future jailbreaks stemming from the use of these leaked codes.
Yeah.
When you turn on the PS5, it's
So a lot of persons who don't want to pay for a lot of games, they're going to take these consoles, the ones already in the wild, and they're going to mod it. Yeah, they are going to mod these consoles to get a lot of PlayStation games for free. That is what happened in the 360 days. That is what happened to, I believe, the Wii U and the Wii. Once they get that kernel, guys, the popping will start. Popcorn.
CPU runs the boot ROM code that's baked in the chip and uses the ROM keys to ensure that the bootloader is valid. Now that the ROM keys have been leaked and assuming they are valid, a hacker could then decrypt and study the official bootloader and potentially use that as a starting point to understand how the PS5's boot system works.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard, man.
Since the issue
This is hard.
is at a hardware level, Sony would not be able to release an update that will stop consoles with the compromised chip.
But you know what's funny, guys? Guess what's even more funny? That Dreamcast guy loves to claim that he's neutral. Dreamcast guy loves to claim that, you know, he's not an Xbox hater. But just for a quick moment, let's pause Marlon there. Look at Dreamcast guy's channel. Did he comment on this? Did he make a video saying that Sony is dead? Look at this. Did Dreamcast guy make a video saying Sony is dead? Instead, no, he says the console war is over. Xbox is dead, right? Xbox is mad. Gamers hate AI slop, right? YouTubers quit. So a lot of things on Xbox. But this is a monumental, how to say, news. And this guy didn't even make one video on it. No wonder why he won Grifter of the Year and Pony of the Year. That is Dreamcast guy. You understand? Let's continue with Marlon. Let's see again what Marlon is saying concerning this news here with Sony being hacked.
From loading kernel level
You hear that? You hear that, kernel?
exploits in the future. Should one become available? For the PS3, bro, the crisis that Sony was dealing with from a security level when it comes to the PlayStation 3. Like I said, this is not the first time. This is not new to Sony.
I mean, if this is not new to Sony, why every generation Sony has this issue? Are you telling me every generation you are saying that here what? we are hearing the executives are saying that they want the PlayStation to maybe last another 3 years, right? So you want this console to last another 3 years, and you can't put the security in place to ensure that gamers' information is secured, that your supporters don't have their data out there, right? It's this open. Get out of
Sony
here.
needs to figure out something, bro. Going in, pause right quick. Pause on this, all of this right now, because I'm pissed off. Sony needs to find a way, bro.
Random commenter said Sony just gave a reason to buy a PlayStation 5 used at a garage sale.
This is no hype. This is no joke. This is real right now. I'm fixing to turn up the heat in this. Yo, listen to me. I'm so tired of this crap because, you know, it's like when these hacks happen, man, you just never freaking know. You just never know. That's why I try.
Marlon is behaving like he's on the board at Sony, and he's arguing with Jim Ryan, with Herman Holtz, with all these executives. Marlon is the head of Sony. He said he's about to turn up the heat because right now, Sony's kernel is being popped.
Try to tell y'all boys, those of you who are heavily invested in digital games, you understand what I'm saying? Your entire library of your games are digital. Right. You can wake up tomorrow morning and all that crap is gone.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You turn on your PS5, just blank screen. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. You turn on your PS5, there's no operating system, there's no games, there's no nothing. That can just happen. In the blink of an eye, that can happen to you. And this is why I try to tell you boys, like, nothing is safe. What does this tell you right now? Nothing is safe. Nothing. Anything that's man-made is never 100% safe. I try to tell you boys, y'all got to stop having so much faith in these companies, because these companies, while I'm excited about the games, bro, that's what brings us all together.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why we're supporting these corporations so much, because of the games. The games that we used to play when we were younger and the games that we're playing now when we're older. And it's sad to really see something that literally destroyed the PlayStation 3 from a security level happen again.
The last of
you know what I mean? The company made that mistake. You know what I mean?
These guys
with
sold
the Cryptograph
90 million
on the console, and then now people were able to do homebrew. Homebrew was a big thing on PS3. Yeah, right. And obviously allowing piracy and all that kind of stuff to happen, cheating on popular titles to happen. It's like a snowball freaking effect. You know what I'm saying? Even on the Switch, they were able to tinker with it and run Linux on there and stuff like that. So, you know, hackers, they're finding different ways to get smarter and go through these codes and bootloaders and run.
Yeah, but you guys told me that Sony made the most money this generation than ever before. It doesn't take no amount of sense to reinvest some of that money into the security system. Sony could have hired a number of security firms to bolster, to strengthen the PlayStation 5 OS, to strengthen the kernels, to strengthen keeping the information of the PlayStation 5 locked away. The most successful generation Sony had, and guess what? Their security is the weakest. Their security is the weakest. They made more money off of you ponies than ever before. And the security is the weakest. Are you hearing me?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I am talking about you guys are paying for a premium and you guys are getting Kool-Aid. You guys ain't getting champagne. You guys are getting Kool-Aid, and it's not even grape. It's not even grape Kool-Aid you all are getting. Paying for champagne, but getting grape, but getting red Kool-Aid is diabolical, Sony. Diabolical.
keys and get into these from a freaking hardware level. So it's not like you can sit there and let me put out a patch. Let's hurry up. Sony's probably like, this is happening to us again. This is why I try to tell you, boy.
But so how Sony is pulling out their hair and saying that, so Sony don't know if it is their security system is good or not? I'm trying to understand. Is this what Marlon is trying to say? Sony shouldn't be surprised about this. If I have a cloth as a front door, I can't be surprised if thieves come in. I have a closed front door. My front door is not made of solid oak wood. It's not made of iron or steel. It's made of cloth, cotton. Come on, man.
We don't need a PlayStation 6 right now. This is
Y'all just got the PlayStation 5 Pro. No games. PlayStation 6 on its way.
I don't know how much more to even tell you guys this, man. We do not need a PlayStation. This is one of the very reasons why I say that we need to hold off, because you need time, bro. You need time to sort out these things. These things cannot continue to happen, bro, because you're making it easier. You're making it easier for hackers to come in and do whatever they want to do with your hardware. And then now that's costing you money.
They need Jesus.
Especially now with what's going on in the world with, RAM prices increasing through the roof right now. I mean, all this stuff is happening. There's a kickback right now. These companies have to either pay more money or...
There's reports. I'm seeing a rumor floating around that Sony just might raise the PlayStation 5. Now, if Sony raises the PlayStation 5, right? Hear me out. If they raise the PlayStation 5 and it has the weakest security, on top of that, anyone could buy these consoles and just mod it. What is the incentive that gamers has? I mean, this is crazy.
Scramble to try to get enough RAM so that they can mass produce their systems and whatever they're doing and stuff like that. You're living in a world now where things are getting harder and harder and harder and harder and harder. Every year, every day, things are getting harder and harder. So why not do your homework and make sure you should have learned from the PlayStation 3 generation coming into the PlayStation 5, even PS4.
Just know who you're talking to, man.
As well.
Are you talking to the gamers?
Coming into another 3 generations at this point. Even PS2 they were doing this stuff with. PS1 they were doing this stuff with. You know what I'm saying? So, you got y'all.
Hey, Max City Entertainment, shout out to you, man. Hey, Max City, long time, man. Shout out to you. Hope you and your family doing okay, man.
Y'all gotta find a way, man. Find a way to make it even harder for these hackers. Look at the situation that's going on recently.
Sony don't care. If you guys think Sony care about security, something has to be wrong. I mean, you will know if a company care dependent on how many times they would have been hacked, how many times the servers was down, how many times, these guys are saying that here what the kernel is leaked. This has been happening for Sony consoles for a long period of time. So, I mean, this is what we could expect. This is what, we can expect going forward. Anyone who has a PlayStation should be worried about their information getting out there. Now, this was Marlon reacting to it. I wonder how Rich from Review Tech USA would take this, because we know he don't like Xbox. So let's see what Rich had to say about it.
Really bad.
I just wanted some sauce on those zingers.
So Sony's worst nightmare has come to fruition. The PS5 has been jailbroken, and it's down on a hardware level. They can't patch this out with firmware.
No.
It's in the chip itself that's in the PlayStation 5s that are already out in the market. And At best, they could play whack-a-mole and do like software updates that people will instantly circumvent with this jailbreak. And it's now a nightmare for Sony for probably the rest of this generation.
Yeah.
Obviously, the new PS5s are going to be updated. They're going to fix this, but there's a lot of PS5s out there already. So what does a jailbreak do? How does it benefit someone who has a jailbroken console? First and foremost, you get to play game backups, which means that depending on how robust this jailbreak is, you could literally put a Blu-ray disc.
Let me just say shout out to Max City Entertainment. Max City is saying, shout out for being a member for 5 months, Max City. Marlon is an idiot. All he does is beg all day. Shout out to you, Max City. Shout out to Anonymous Boss. An Anonymous Boss is asking for some very nice, very clean apple, grapes, and some other fruits.
Thank you.
You're making us pay for water, you son of a...
Yeah, buddy.
You're making us pay for grapes,
That's right.
apples, things that God gave us for free.
You have to pay.
You will burn in hell when I'm through with you. You will not be allowed in my Father's house at all.
At all. Shout out to
You're
you. Shout out to you, Anonymous Boss. You know, you have to get his apples. You know, an apple a day keeps these ponies away. So let's go. Let's continue with these what we just
in your PS5 or another console that's been jailbroken, and you could copy the games right to the SSD and play the games right off the internal storage. So you could pirate games. You could pirate games fairly easily. Another one Sony is not going to like is that you could run emulators, especially because they try to repackage their old games and resell them to you. So if you could just emulate them right on the
Hey, shout out to Flex, man. Flex. Shout out to you, man.
console, you're not going to be buying those old games. And so that's going to be a real big problem. Also, to mods, Sony can't stand them, and especially cheats like in Call of Duty. If people have these jailbroken consoles, or in other games as well, that there's online multiplayer, they could circumvent all the anti-cheat stuff and cheat now with their jailbroken PS5.
So,
now, you can make the argument there that
imagine playing Call of Duty on the PlayStation 5 in the future, and because we have 90 million consoles out there in the wild that have the capabilities of being jailbroken into, right? So let's just say some one of those hackers would have sold a console like that. Persons could now circumvent whatever cheat software Sony would have put in, or EA or Activision, and they could basically cheat on games. And yes, they might be able to get on strike if it is you report them, but it will take a while. So, I mean, this is crazy. Crazy. Shout out to the actual black mage. Guys, you better be careful around this guy. He is an actual black mage. You know what they call you in my country, actual black mage? They call you a Obia, man. Be careful.
Sony will just ban those accounts, or if you're playing Call of Duty, Activision will ban those accounts. But it's now going to be a more ongoing problem, and their cheating is going to be a bigger issue on the PlayStation 5 platform. So what the hell exactly happened? Well, this comes from Giz China. I'll read it to you, then we'll discuss. A new report says core ROM features for the Sony PS5 is now public. This key is part of a boot ROM code that runs first when the console starts. The code checks if the boot file is real before the rest of the system can load. If the key is real and works as said, it could let skilled users read and study the boot path in full. Now, this is where it gets interesting, and this is where it's a real big problem for Sony. The key is burned inside the main chip and cannot be changed by any system update. Sony could update the firmware to their heart's content. The fundamental flaw is burned into the chip. There's nothing they could do to fix this on a software level. The fact makes this case stand out from past bugs that were fixed with new code.
So I'm guessing that you guys have it. You guys understand it. This is a big situation for Sony. I don't know how Sony is going to, how they are going to put a plaster on this one. This one here is a big one. But again, say what you want about Xbox. We are not seeing this problem with Xbox. When it comes to Sony and Xbox being hacked, the frequency of getting hacked, Sony is not only taking the cake for that one, they are taking the icing, they are taking the table and the tablecloth. Sony is getting hacked too many times in a generation. How could Sony make all this money and not invest in their security? This is absurd. Now let's talk about these price hikes. Guys, AI is taking over. And let me just say that this AI situation is getting out of hand. If at any one point in time you go onto Twitter and you look at how many AI rubbish, no, but some of it is really funny, yeah? Some of it. Let me show you guys something here. Look at this. I'm not going to play the audio, but look at this. Look at this here. This is Trump. What is this? This is AI, guys. I mean, even if it is you this type of AI in the search engine, you would see how many AI is coming up, right? And it's scary. It's scary what persons could do with AI now. Yeah, look at this. Let me see if I can play this here for you guys. This is AI, guys. So, I mean, crazy stuff. So a lot of companies are investing in this AI, and look at this. Look at this. Cats fighting a cat using a hammer. So this is what these companies are doing. These companies are investing in these data centers to do things like this. Cats using hammer. We have Chavez. I mean, come on. Crazy stuff. So, and because of that, we are seeing a lot of the game prices are going up because of the AI, right? So let's listen now to Dreamcast guy, and let's see what he has to say about the AI, because there's a lot of how to say things going up because of AI, right? Listen to this.
Hey there, gamers. Dreamcast guy here. Today we're talking about a truly awful story. I mean, it is so bad, it feels like the internet is trying to even figure out what the heck this means. But they're about to double the price of all PC parts. Even more than double the price. A $2,000 graphics card here next month.
No, to be honest, I believe PC guys thought they would have gotten away from the price increases, because I saw Xbox went up, PlayStation went up. Xbox went up twice, PlayStation went up once, right? And PC guys were just saying, just come to PC, let's go to PC. But right now, with these current situations happening, PC is looking pretty pricey right now.
Is going up to $5,000. Now, maybe you're saying, okay, I don't really game on PC, or I don't mind a low-end PC. This is going to affect the entire industry. At this point, everybody knows that game consoles, that even phones and stuff, these all basically run on portions of PC
Shout out
parts.
to Roots for All. Who is that there? What name is that?
I mean, if they raise the price of NVIDIA or GPUs or even RAM or
Abraham,
AMD,
what
all
up,
this
man?
stuff is a straight up jump up effect. I'm afraid about the fact that if this price increase is legit that multiple leakers are talking about, everything is about to get way, way, way more expensive. I'm kind of terrified about the fact that if this...
Do you guys think that all of these price increase could lead to a gaming crash? But what are you guys' thoughts about that? Do you think that we are seeing PC parts doubling? We are seeing gaming consoles doubling. Could this lead to a next game crash? Shout out to Yataza, my brother. How you doing, Yataza? Professor Strong again. Shout out to you. Roots for all. What kind of roots are you talking about? What kind of roots are you selling there, man?
This is real. I mean, the idea of another price increase, maybe even multiple price increases for the PS5 and for the Xbox next year, it seems inevitable. But let's break it down. Hi, hope you're having a great day. And if you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. This genuinely freaks me out. Everybody over on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit is freaking out about this all over the place. So this just came out
when it is Xbox had another price increase, PlayStation fans thought that they were going to get away, that the PlayStation will not have another price increase. That might change.
About an hour and a half ago from WCC Tech. They're a very reputable leaker source, but they have been wrong in the past. Essentially, they're a very good leaking outlet where they hear what other people hear. When people are inside the industry talking about a particular game release date or an upcoming big project, they hear about it typically before anybody else. And essentially what they said is that they hear officially that there is preparation to do a massive price increase. So according to sources, on the 30th, that's January 30th, so literally 29 days from...
I think in most companies, guys, the fiscal year ends in March, right? Do you guys think that before March, we could see another price increase? Or do you think they will wait after March to drop the hammer on the gaming industry for another price increase when it comes to PlayStation? I'm hearing about the ROG Ally X going to have a price increase. So everyone who bought the ROG Ally X, you guys are eating good because you guys bought it at a very good price. And also PC parts are going up. I mean, now, I think now is the time, guys, that you guys could finally say,
It's a PC! 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 It's a PC!
Yeah.
It's a PC!
Yeah, you guys, PC guys right now are stunted on. PC guys will be like a luxury. I mean, that is crazy. But let's listen.
From today, AMD is expected to raise the price of some GPUs starting in January next year and NVIDIA starting February the next year. So basically, it's going to happen back to back. Now, let's just say real quick, part of the funniness of this is when NVIDIA first started increasing their prices a bunch, some people kind of assumed that maybe AMD would keep their stuff cheap, that maybe AMD would go, okay, you guys are jacking up the prices of your parts. We're going to keep our stuff cheaper so we can take over the market. To me, that's a very smart strategy, all right? Hey, we can do that. Also, AMD and NVIDIA, a lot of this stuff, literally, I know I keep saying that, this is $2,000. Likely, the price increase will extend to all their entire product lineup, encompassing not only consumer GPUs, but also GPUs for AI data.
Right now, things are getting really, really bad. When it comes to pricing, things are getting real expensive. So if it is you have a high-end PC now, you guys should cherish it because it's worth a lot of money. Now, how would that bleed into gaming in the near future? We'll have to wait and see. But so far, things are looking grim. When it comes to pricing, when it comes to the hobby we like. Now, could this mean that they would eventually push back the next generation. I don't see Xbox pushing back their generation. I see Xbox coming out with their new console in maybe early 2027, late 26 maybe, but I see early 2027 they're releasing their console. They may announce their new console this year, but they would release it in 2027. That's what I'm thinking. But I mean, right now, guys, we need to be very careful, or the gaming industry to be very careful, because things could get real bad real quick. All right, real bad real quick. So let me just say that's just a few of the stories that we spoke about this week. I see we reached our mark here with the stream. Normally, I tend to have the stream for an hour. Guys, could hit the like button. Maybe on our way out, we could maybe reach at least 35 likes. Guys, thanks for all the support. Again, last year was a very good year for the channel. Let's see if we can make 2026 an even better year. Shout out to all the supporters, Anonymous Boss, Professor Strong. Shout out to Roots for All, of course, my brother Yataza. We had Max City Entertainment, we had Flex, we had a number of persons, Abraham passing through, we had Random Commenter. Shout out to everyone in the chat, everyone who supported tonight. So guys, let me just say thanks again. You guys be safe. Look out for a video maybe on Tuesday. Hopefully I'll feel much better. I still have the cold, guys. Watch out for this cold. This cold is trouble, man. This cold is trouble. This flu and this cold is not easy. So watch out for that. So guys, take it easy. Hey, Verge Brazil. So Verge Brazil just came in. Verge, we are wrapping up the show. We just saw where it is. PlayStation is, they got broken into, and they sold the most. They sold the most consoles. How is that possible, Verge Brazil? How could Sony sell the most consoles but yet have the worst security? So again, guys, shout out to you. Shout out to your family. Be safe out there. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.